Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Sam Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. This is episode 249 of the Music Mondays podcast, and I'm your host, Sam Slays. I hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. How you feeling, my friends? This is our last full week of October, actually, which is pretty fucking crazy. Actually, pretty fucking crazy, I won't lie. Halloween is Friday at the time of this recording, so that'll be pretty exciting. But let's get down to business, my friends, and let's talk about it. Let's get down into everything that we have going down. So you guys know the dealio here. We're gonna talk about some weekly recap jazz. We're gonna talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Talk recruiting. Talk some exclusive stuff. We actually have some exclusives dropping this month as well. We should have at least like 2 more, I think, that are dropping this month. So that'll be exciting. That'll definitely be exciting. But you guys know the dealio, man. Let's get into it. So let's go over some weekly recap jazz first. Let's see here. So what happened at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so that you might have missed? Let's talk about it. So, per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are available right now and in stock. We do have smalls, mediums, and larges. So again, keep that in mind. $20 flat shipping inside the United States only. Definitely send us a message, send us a DM if you're interested in purchasing one of those. Per usual, heading into Tuesday following the live show, you can catch the full high-quality version of the Music Mondays podcast over there on Patreon for you to download, for you to clip, for you to record, for you to go watch, or anything like that. So that does go live on the Patreon every single Tuesday following the live show. So, that's Tuesday. And of course, submissions open for the next week's show every single Tuesday. So again, if you want to submit for episode 250, submissions will be live tomorrow, October 28th. Let's see, outside of that, heading into Wednesday, per usual, SoundCloud Sunday submissions do open every single Wednesday. So make sure you follow us on social media, stay up to date with all of our recent playlists and everything that we have going on, for sure. But again, SoundCloud Sunday submissions do open every single Wednesday. And then, of course, we finish off Wednesday with a little bit of audio podcast promo as well. So again, make sure you follow us on socials for all of our recent announcements. Let's see. Outside of that, heading into Thursday, episode 248 of the Music Mondays podcast is available right now on all audio platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz that is available right now. So episode 248 is available everywhere. So definitely go check that out, and huge shout out to everybody that submitted and tuned in to episode 248. Let's see here. Continuing on with Thursday, we actually did drop a brand new YouTube upload. Why locations matter for your music videos. So during episode 247 a few weeks ago, I spoke about a artist submission that was a music video, and we spoke about locations and why they matter for certain songs and videos and things like that, right? So that video and that segment is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, so definitely go check that out. That's a good segment for sure. And of course, make sure you go subscribe to the channel. I think we're only like 2 subs away from 330. We do upload every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And then we capped off Thursday actually with Music Mondays Radar Check number 13 available on all social media right now. So again, that is our month-to-month segment where we make sure that we give everybody a chance to tag a creative that they think should be featured on Music Mondays, whether that be on musicmondays.com, whether it be on the podcast or anything like that. So it's basically just a good way for you to shout out your artist mutuals and whatnot. So definitely go check out Radar Check number 13. That is available right now everywhere. And then heading into Friday, a brand new article is live by me, just a fall kind of preview piece is available right now on the Music Mondays homepage, so definitely go check that out and go show that some love. We've been dropping some pretty banger funky pieces over there, especially in our reviews and interview section, so definitely go check those and go show those some love for sure. That was Friday. Heading into Saturday, episode 248 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on YouTube right now. So again, if you prefer the YouTube version of the Music Mondays podcast, or you just want to go throw it on the big screen, or you go you want to go record it or anything like that, that is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. And again, we do upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. So make sure you subscribe for new videos. Quite literally every single week, my friends. Episode 248 is available right now, quite literally everywhere. So huge shout out to everybody that did tune in and submit and show love to 248. Heading into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday Volume 210 is available right now on the Music Monday SoundCloud. That was curated by me and the homie Waterfalls, and then the cover art was done by me as well. So huge shout out to the homie Water for getting in on me with that playlist, because that was a banger. You can always tell when like multiple curators are on one playlist, because Water always comes up with some fucking gems, man. So huge shout out to Waterfalls for curating that with me, and huge shout out to everybody that tuned in and submitted to SoundCloud Sunday Volume 210. And that is available right now on the Music Monday SoundCloud. So again, definitely go check that out and go shout out some love. Again, if you want to submit for SoundCloud Sunday, submissions do open every single Wednesday, so make sure you follow us on social media to stay up to date. Then that leads us into today, actually. Monday, October 27th, 2025, episode 249. We're live. So that was your weekly recap, my friends. That's pretty much everything you missed over the last week or so at Music Mondays. So let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays in the next couple of weeks, actually, as we head into November, man. Kind of crazy. Yeah, we're starting to like really wrap up the end of the year here. I mean, the Music Mondays Awards are going to be here like before we know it, man. Like December's going to roll up on us quick, I feel like. So I'm going to get ready for that. We're going to do a little bit of a 2026 graphic refresh. We're going to get all of the playlists and YouTube playlists updated and ready. We're going to do another website update. There's a few things that I want to do to like really close out the end of the year. And then, of course, like I said, the other thing on the back burner is Curing Cases of the Mondays Collection 3. So we're figuring out some more details when it comes down to the album. And then once we settle on some cover art, I'll be able to make the announcement, and we'll talk about submissions and how you can submit for the album and when the album deadline and all that good jazz will be. So that'll be kind of figured out over the next like couple of weeks or so. So again, make sure you follow us on social media. We're quite literally on every platform, so make sure you follow us to stay up to date. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, TikTok, Tumblr, wherever you're at, we're at. So make sure you follow us to stay up to date with all those really good announcements for sure. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a lot of updating stuff, and we have 2 pretty big events to kind of cap out at the end of the year. And then I think we're just going to kick off next year with Cyberfest 3, or at least do it in the spring. And then that'll be really awesome for sure. I'm definitely excited for Cyberfest 3. So there's a couple of things that I want to bring into. And then there's some new events that we want to do. And then we'll probably do another Battle of the Beats next year as well. So yeah, there's like quite a few things that I want to plan for 2026. But first things first, we want to make sure that this album stuff gets done heading into November. And then December, we'll have the Music Mondays Awards. And then, like I said, we'll be able to update all of our SoundCloud playlists, website update, graphic update. All the basic stuff will be getting updated for sure. So, again, make sure you follow us and stay up to date. But that's pretty much everything that's coming over the next couple of weeks or so. And, of course, I'll update you guys here on a weekly basis when it comes down to the Music Mondays podcast as well. So you can always get more frequent updates when it comes down to our platform. So that's pretty much everything major when it comes down to that. Let's talk about recruiting. So per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for writers, journalists, curators, designers. You want to do short form content, you want to do long form content, you want to do social media stuff, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Again, resume preferred, but definitely not required. If you're kind of new to the underground independent journalism media space, we're definitely willing to show you the ropes and teach you a few things when it comes down to our platform, right? And of course, definitely go check out the 2025 Music Mondays role guide, where I kind of break down the Music Monday staff roles in a little bit more detail when it comes down to your content, your schedule, and things like that. So again, definitely go check that out if you're interested. And of course, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email if you're interested in joining the Music Monday staff team. We're trying to round out the staff team. I think we want to fill like three slots or so. Doesn't really matter for what roles. But we want to get at least like three more new people on the team as well. So again, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. So that's recruiting. Let's talk exclusives. So again, Music Mondays is on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives. If you have an unreleased SoundCloud track that you like to have hosted, promoted, or Hosted on the Music Money SoundCloud for completely free. Definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. And again, feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards. We are only interested in unreleased material. So if you want to go put it on distro, you want to go do a music video for it, you want to go do anything like that, that's completely fine. But again, we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. Same goes for YouTube as well. We are on the hunt for YouTube exclusives. So if you have a music video, an AMV, a visual, or even you want just some audio hosted on the Music Money's YouTube channel of over 300 subscribers, and of course promoted across all of our social media for completely free, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, and we'd love to get something hosted for you. So yeah, that's pretty much everything super, super major. Yeah, there's quite a few discussion segments that I want to have here relatively soon. I want to talk about top social medias going into 2026. I think we're going to do a little bit more of a merch segment as well. And then we're going to talk about how to end the year properly. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few discussion segments coming here on the show over the next few weeks. So just make sure you tune in and keep your eyes peeled for all those. But I think it's about that time, my friends. I think it's about that time. So let's actually hop over to Twitter and see what we have for submissions. I know we have a couple of Patreons tonight as well. Submissions are looking good. Let's see here. So per usual, submissions are always in the same format every single week, and they always read. Artist and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on October 27th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/SonPlays, which is here and now. Again, the only thing that changes about this format is the date. So make sure you double check the date and you're submitting for a show that has not happened yet. Outside of that, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. Again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from obviously vocals, instrumentals, acoustic covers, remixes, DJ sets, photography, music videos, videography, vlogs, merch, short form content, unreleased content. So we've pretty much done everything here on the show. So if you're an independent underground creator that deserves or thinks they deserve some spotlight here on the Music Mondays podcast, feel free to drop your links and portfolios below. Outside of that, we do have a 3-hour show limit just to keep the show a little bit more palatable to watch back. One could argue that, again, a 3-hour show is still a little bit long, but as opposed to some of our earlier episodes in 2022 where we were doing 5-6 hours, those are definitely more annoying to watch back for sure. So 3 hours was definitely a good cap. And again, we are one of the only live shows here on Twitch every single Monday. So again, we want to keep the show at a, highest quality as possible, right? So you know the drill. So let's see here. Outside of that, the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Again, submissions are free. They've always been free. They always will be free. So again, make sure you follow us on Twitter before you do submit. Again, that not only helps spread our message and grow our platform, but you pay respect to every other artist that is waiting for their submissions to be reacted to every single week here on the show. So again, that's the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. And again, outside of that, Patreon subscriber submissions will be played first every single week here on the show. So again, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether that be basic, advanced, or premium, you gain access to a whole bunch of other goodies, including early access content, but you gain access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which again, for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, allows you to have all your submissions played first here on the show. So again, huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patrons. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. Let's get it, baby. Outside of that, one thing that we do got to mention is submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. Again, that's just to keep the show a little bit more free flow and balanced. So again, a good rule of thumb is that if the show is live, submissions are definitely closed. But again, you have 6 or so days to get your submissions in anyway, so you have plenty of time. But just to keep that in mind, And of course, the only reason we do that as well is just to make sure we keep the order as organic as possible, right? So if we close submissions and then somebody comes in and cuts off somebody in the order that maybe they were waiting for quite a while or X, Y, or Z, so it just creates a gray area. So we just totally ditch that, and we do close submissions about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, keep that in mind. Again, submissions open every single Tuesday following the live show. So if you want to submit for episode 250, they'll be live tomorrow, October 28th, 2025. Let's get it. Signed up for the Patreon again a few hours ago and paid. So oh yeah, of course, absolutely, TDG. No, of course, I actually saw the notification quite earlier. You're all good, my friend. You're all good. But speaking of the devil, actually, we do have one Patreon with TDG, and then we have Ghost after that, and then I think we're good to go. So we're gonna kick off the show with TDG, actually. So TDG, a very talented hip hop artist, has been submitting some crazy fucking submissions recently. Especially their last few have been a crazy fucking improvement. That last submission, I believe it was last week or the week before. One of those weeks, TDG has just been on the money with everything from production to vocals to delivery to writing. So I'm definitely excited to see what TDG has been up to, man. But they submitted a track titled Induced In. Pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. 7 hours ago. So this is hot off the press. Prod Company Mix Me. Wow, some non-TDG production. Very rare. Very, very rare. Let's get into it. TDG Induced In. Let's go.
Hold steady, gotta move quick. Hold steady, gotta move quick. Home set, pages burn through it. Memories include when I use with the right stuff. I'm confused in my head. Yeah, hold steady, gotta move quick. Home set, pages burn through it. Memories include when I use with the right stuff. I'm confused in my head. This my card, cause I drawed it. I ain't the rap, I ain't call it. Man, I'm just ballin'. Ringer on, I think the trap calling. Yeah, I'm all in. What I got, it's on the table. Young, dumb, loud, and unstable. Willing to do what I'm able. Always find a way I'm able. I hate labels, I fake fables. I'm too close. Hang like the edge that dangle. I'm through the world. Yeah, I've seen versions. This ain't the plan. Hold steady, gotta move quick. Home set. Burn through it. Memories include when I use with the right step. I'm confused in my head.
Wow.
I'm induced in a spot I go reclusive. No one included. When I shut out, I sleep lucid. Make my life confused with dreams of my third idea win. Which life is this again? Damn, it's been a sec. Respect the cover, not the context. Like pictures when I read to be honest. Thoughts get lost with. Rather just see a doodle in my mind make comics.
Wow. No shit. Wow. My lord. See, now this is a pretty rare track for a few reasons, right? But the main reason why it's so rare is because you don't see TDG really bump out of, their usual type of style, right? Which is usually hip hop or hip hop adjacent. This is definitely pushing more towards a little bit more of like an alternative hip hop, and pushing a little bit towards more like that cloud, kind of hip hop underground style, right? So I like this one a lot. Switching up styles like this is always like a good thing. You know what I mean? Always a good thing. And even TDG said in the chat, this one is very special to me. Can't explain it. Prod by me, best friend, and a surprise. Prod by my best friend and a surprise for when he wakes up from his coma. Sheesh. Yeah, comas are scary, bro. That's definitely scary. Hope everything goes well because Jesus. But yeah, no, it does have that like hopeful sort of vibe, especially like with the cover too, right? A very aesthetically pleasing cover as well, especially like if you know the story behind it. So, all right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Induced In. Which I mean, TDG kind of explained the theme pretty well there in chat, but obviously we're still gonna break it down. Let's talk instrumental. Love this instrumental. I love the instrumental choice, especially when you're going for more of like a heavier, more like emotional tone. I definitely like the choice a lot. Mix is fantastic. I love the sound selection. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I love the drums. TDG sounds great on it. Everything cuts through nicely. Definitely nothing like to gripe over with this at all. Especially as in like lately in like 2025 when it comes down to TDG. Their mix has just been on point with most things, like 9 times out of 10, their mix is very, very solid. So not really a shocker there when it comes down to the instrumental, but something I always want to point out, right? Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, the melody really sets the tone, right? I really feel like the melody's up there. I think the melody definitely sets the tone. I'm big on the structure. I like the structure too. Drums are up there for sure. Soft, but still like keeping up the pace, right? And keeping up the mood as well. This one, I think I'm going to go melody just because it does really set the tone so well. I think we're going to go melody on this one for sure. It just sets the tone and then TDG just follows it up really well. So let's go melody here. So let's talk vocals. Vocals actually are really solid on this, especially like with the little bit of like a style switch up, right? It's not like a complete like 180 switch up, but it is like out of TDG's usual style, right? And they went for something a little bit different here, and I think they fucking nailed it. I really think they fucking nailed it. And I think the mix has a lot to do with that as well. Levels were good, quality was good. There was a lot of like smaller effects throughout the song that I think TDG really utilized super well, to be honest with you. So the mix for me is definitely there, and it keeps that TDG raw flavor too that you really come to know. So vocal mix definitely up there. Vocal shining star. Hmm. Flow and cadence is up there. Flow and cadence and delivery, I feel like was really confident. And very like stern. Writing is definitely up there. Very meaningful writing for sure. Realistically, I think the lyrics hit a lot more by how TDG really approached this song when it comes down to their flow and cadence and delivery. So I think I'm gonna go flow and cadence and delivery on this one. I mean, you could argue writing too here, but let's go flow and cadence and delivery. So instrumental solid, vocal solid. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. So like I was saying before, for a track like this, I love this cover. Especially when TDG's meaning behind it, and it gives it a little bit more of like a softer approach, but it's more like hopeful as well. Simple but kind of nails it. Very very simple, especially for a single like this, right? And then overall theme, like I said, I think TDG kind of nailed it here. I mean, it's a surprise for the homie when he gets out of his coma, which is a crazy crazy fucking thing. And sometimes like when you can't do anything else, something like this really helps. And like it'll be really really cool to like wake up to something like this. Like if my homie came through and was like did that for me, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So it's an awesome gesture for sure. I think TDG did a really good job all around. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to TDG. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They're approaching 1.1K over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They're only 4 followers away from 160, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Of course, make sure you go show all these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. All right. So, let's see here. Huge shout out to TDG. That was our first Patreon of the night, and our second, but certainly not last Patreon of the night. The homie Ghost, a very, very talented multi-genre producer, has been sending in their stash of unreleased, which has been fucking a pleasure to dive into. But this week we have a 2093 Super Trap type beat, 144 BPM, Co-Prod Runaway. Okay, this is going to be crazy. This is definitely going to be crazy. You can already tell, for sure. You could just tell. You could definitely just fucking tell. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Unreleased Ghost, 2093 Super Trap type beat. Let's go.
Be so fucking crazy that it must be Ghost produced.
Tag is fire. Always fire. This is gonna be nuts. Oh shit. Holy shit. Wow. The sound selection is crazy. Wow. And then the drop off is crazy. It's almost spooky, dude. It's almost fucking spooky. Whoa. Wow. This is crazy. Yeah, Ghost too, man. Ghost submissions lately have just been fucking crazy. Like, everybody's submissions this month have just been, like, really top tier, bro. It's actually insane. Well fucking done. Good lord. Now, this one's gonna be tough. This one's gonna be really, really tough to break down. But, I love that fade out, too. Wow. What a great fade out. This is gonna be really tough to break down. I won't lie. So, obviously, no vocals, so we're gonna talk about two things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of this submission. So, man, yeah, no, I just blanked out right there because, like, there's so many things that you could talk about here, but, man, listen, when it comes down to the mix, let's start there, per usual. Mix is really, really solid. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing, or anything that I would, like, ultimately change on this. No way. Especially for, like, how unconventional it is sound selection-wise, you know? Like, the mix is really, really on point. 100%. But that's per usual. I mean, all of Ghost's submissions, especially as of like, recently and lately, have just been insane, bro. Have just definitely been insane. Mix-wise, it's always mint. So, nothing to really gripe about there, you know, but something you always want to point out for anybody new, right? So, instrumental mix, solid. Absolutely. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, this is where I kind of blanked out, and I was like, fuck, dude, that's going to be tough to pick, because the drums are insane. I love the sound selection on the drums, and I love how, like, unique each sound is. But also, the melodies here, and the bass, is fucking crazy. So, it's like, damn, dude, that's a really hard pick. And the structure's up there too, right? Because the structure is really essentially telling a story, especially like that drop off in the second half, and it just builds back up to that last verse. Wow. Or hook, I should say, right? But geez, dude. You know, melodies again really set the fucking tone here. It's a very cyber futuristic, you know, like, you know, the title says 2093. It does have that feel to it. I feel like the melodies, like, really again are a huge part of that, you know. So, but the drums are so unique too, and they bring their own sort of sauce with that futuristic kind of flavor too. So, man, and Structure's pretty underrated too. Can't forget about Structure. But I think, honestly, I'm just going to have to go melodies on this one. It just set the tone so well, and it just feels futuristic, you know? Definitely the melodies, 100%. So, instrumental solid, definitely melodies. Let's talk theme. So, obviously, unreleased, no cover art or anything like that yet, but 2093 Super Trap, futuristic cyber sort of vibe is definitely achieved here. I feel like Ghost and Runaway definitely fucking nailed it when it comes down to that futuristic sort of cyberpunk sort of vibe. I think they fucking nailed it 100%. Ghost is one of the only producers that we see here on the show actually nail this style in like a really like consistent way. You know, I think we've reacted to maybe like 2 or 3 of these types from Ghost, and they've all had that like real good futuristic flavor. And this one is definitely right along that same line for sure. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter, by the way. They are 8 followers away from 560. So make sure you show them some love on the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Money's YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Yeah. Well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to all of our Music Money's patrons tonight, by the way. You guys are amazing. Huge shout out to TDG, Ghost, the homie Ryuki, Laveries, King Mark, Kruger, and the rest of the Music Money's Patreon crew, and Jordan as well. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Let's get it. We got Ghost in the chat. Welcome on in, my friend. Happy Monday. Hope all is well, my friends. Well, it's actually like Tuesday for you already, but happy Monday either way. Let's get it, baby. All right, so huge shout out to all of our Music Money's Patrons, but let's head into the rest of the community submissions. So up next, we have a multi-genre talented artist, and now a producer, apparently. The homie Braden has came through with a radio track titled Stepping Stone, also prod me. So last week, we had the first experience of the production from Braden, and it was just a pleasure. It was a real pleasure, you know? It was like, holy shit. Especially drums wise, and just Braden like absolutely fucking killed the verse, man. No, for sure. But the production side is always just mind blowing, especially out of Braden. You know, like you just don't expect that, right? But like I said, a multi genre talented artist, Braden came through with a track titled Stepping Stone. So let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. 1 month ago, so a brand spanking new still. Monday still for me. Oh, okay. It's Monday still for you. Let's get it, baby. Love that. Sample is Nowadays by Lil Skies and the Homie Landed Cube, Prod Cash Money 8B. But the lyrics in description, love that per usual. Love in the comments. Yep. Love that. Okay, let's get into it. Braden, Stepping Stone, let's go. Good sample choice. Wow.
All these bitches still hating. 1.5K check came in. I hit the ghost and I get faded. She call me my name, say hi, Braden. I asked what the words that she stated. But this ain't a game that I'm playing. This dumbass bitch we need dating. I don't care if these bitches do me wrong. I'll just turn them to a song. Got other bitches, got other thoughts. And I'll say shout out all my brothers, cause all my brothers been put me on. I'm about to head straight to the shop and I'll cop all the shit I want. Like I got bread falling on my dumb ass. Bad bitch, I'ma bust that. I'm a
holy shit.
DMs like fuck that. I will pull up, I won't bluff that. She a whole pop, I won't cuff that. With a 10s at, with a love at. Cause I can't find it. All these bitches always fucking whining. While they crying, I've been wanting dining. Wondering about myself, found a silver lining. I got confidence, please don't mind it. Her body T told her rewind it. Pull her back out, push her spine in. I ain't spending money, having hoes flying. Nah, bitch, I'm not trying to be your stepping stone. Even though I still peeped your message, oh. She pressed that hang with demons, real life taking bro.
Wow, the hook is crazy, bro. Wow. Holy shit. And self-prod too, like what the fuck? Wow. Well done. Well fucking done. Claps for fucking Brady, man. Holy shit. Yeah, that hook was nutty, man. That is a catchy fucking hook. That is a really, really catchy fucking hook. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it because this is fucking cooked. We're gonna talk about 3 things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Stepping Stone. So, instrumental. Prod Braden. Sample is the Lil Skies track. I thought it was really well done, especially mix-wise, you know, and nothing really, like, stuck out to me that was, like, really off-putting or anything like that. It was very unique. It was very, like, Braden, right? I feel like Braden wanted more, like, creative, like, creative input when it comes down to their production, and now that they have it, I feel like you can really, like, see that, you know, so... but the mix is really solid, to be honest with you. Nothing super clashy to overbearing or anything that I would like ultimately change on this. You know what I mean? Vocals are good. Samples were good. Sound selection was good. Yeah, nothing that really like wigged me out, you know. Um, so instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Um, hmm, probably the structure. I do love the drums. I love the sample usage as well. It's a great sample choice in general, though. Um, but yeah, I think we're gonna go structure just because it's such a unique structure, but it's still very Braden, right? And it's very consistent. So I like the structure a lot, especially when the 808 comes in. So let's go structure on this one. Instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fucking fantastic. You know, Braden's had a very consistent vocal mix for quite a long time. You know what I mean? So it's not really a shocker that they sound really solid on this, especially when it comes down to their self production. So again, levels are good, quality's good, nothing super clashy or anything that I would like ultimately change with the vocals. You know, I feel like Braden does a really good job with their vocals, 100%. So, Vocal Shining Star, on the other hand, definitely the fucking hook. Although I do love the writing, Braden really, really bodied this. Um, but to be real, the hook is just so catchy. You know, the hook is fucking catchy as shit. So, yeah, let's go hook, man. Floating Canes and Delivery's up there too, but I'm gonna say hook for sure. So, instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Again, Braden coming through the IRL photo. That always really fucking works. You know what I mean? Again, you just spruce it up a little bit. You know, maybe throw a couple filters on it or edit it how you want to, and it's perfect for a single, right? Or sometimes certain songs you just don't want to go in that creative of a direction, or maybe the song just doesn't call for a certain type of cover art or anything like that, right? It's more of a preference thing. So you guys know how I feel about the IRL covers, so always a big fan of those, for sure. Um, Overall theme, relatively simple stepping stone, right? I mean, a lot of people will try to do that to you in life, you know, like a lot of people will try to use you and just try to get to like the next best thing, or something that's like they think is better than a certain type of deal or whatever. Like people just like to use people, and I feel like Braden does a really good job uh kind of breaking that down and sharing their experience with it, right? And how they feel about it, because like obviously fuck people who do that, um and just using anybody as a stepping stone in like any capacity is just like always like really shitty, man. So like Braden again did a really good job kind of explaining their experience with that, if you will, right? So well done, my friend, well done. Huge shout out to the homie Braden. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Braden on SoundCloud. They're only 4 followers away from 390. Make sure you go show him some love in the cloud, my friends. And of course, make sure you go follow Braden on Twitter. They are only 9 followers away from 30, so make sure you go show them some love on their new Twitter over there. Of course, like I always say, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you at Music Mondays. Even if you just been dropping likes or even just viewing the videos or dropping comments or anything like that, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you. So, let's see. We left off with the homie Braden. Up next is the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring, a multi-talented producer, digital artist, editor, designer, writer, all of the above, has came through with a new YouTube upload. Walking Onslaught's Digital Art Adventures. We got a new episode here. Let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay. Walking Onslaught's Digital Art Adventures, Episode 5, Woodbridge Stroll. W description as well. Per usual, got all the links there. Excellent. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. New Offspring series, Walking Onslaught's Digital Art Adventures, Episode 5, Woodbridge Stroll. Let's go. Big fall vibe here already. Blood Lab. An insane sign, by the way. W edit there. Not the skate edit, holy shit. The skate edit, holy fuck. I like that one actually. That one looks kind of crazy too. Yeah, the skate edits are actually sick. That was a good idea. That one's gnarly too. Look at the sky in that one. What the fuck? That one's actually really tough. That was actually so tough. Bus stop vibes. Yeah, a lot of these edits are really sick. Offspring's right. That was actually hard too. Swing sit. Yeah, that was actually crazy. That was definitely cooked. That one's crazy. Fucking Waldo. Waldo just vibing at the end is crazy. That one's cool, I like that one too. There's a few favorites in there I really enjoyed. This is a really cool way to show off your artwork, by the way. You know, I think designers should really dive into more shorter content like this. You know, I think for any type of designer, doing like a portfolio this way, or like even just like recent pieces of work, I think this is a really, really good idea. You know, and Offspring's already 5 episodes in, you know, so they're really like cranking it out when it comes down to showing off their work, right? So, well done. Well done. I think Shining Star here is probably the editing low key. A lot of the skate ones are crazy. I like those a lot. I think the sky on this one was fucking gnarly. Yeah, there's quite a few here that were like really, really fucking solid for sure. But yeah, no, Shining Star here, definitely the editing, 100%, 100%. Well done, my friend. Well done. This is actually a genius idea. Genius. So, well done, my friends. Huge, huge shout out to Homie Offspring Series. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel. They're only 7 subs away from 250. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring Series on Twitter as well. They're only 8 followers away from 820. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. All right, my friends, you know the dealio. We're about halfway through the show and halfway through our submission, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to need all you guys to get up, go get a drink, go get a snack, go do whatever you need to do. Maybe walk the dog, maybe go on a smoke break, maybe go get some water or anything like that. And when we return, the Music Mondays podcast episode 249 is going to dive into the rest of our community submissions, so don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live for the Music Mondays podcast, episode 249. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Hope you had a good break, but let's hop into the rest of our community submissions. So up next, we got the homie, 3, aka Theory, aka 3 the Real. Very talented hip-hop artist, has came through with a official lyric video for Circles. Last minute submission. My lyric video for Circles, the next track from Maury Vivi. I give you another description of the message, but I'd like to see what you come up with. Much love, homie. Okay, I'm down. Absolutely. Absolutely. 3's submissions recently have been fucking insane, so I have no doubt this is gonna be gnarly. I have no doubt. And their lyric videos have been top tier as well. 8 months ago, so not super new, not super old. Drop another bang with this arcade themed lyric video for Circles. Go to 3therealist.com to stream this and plenty more bangers from yours truly. Okay, shit, I'm down. Let's get into it. 3 the Real Circles official lyric video. Let's go.
I made another one. I've been running around in circles, chase my tail down, let off the leash, lost. Here we go again.
Lately I've been flying high, I love to see the views. All the smoke up in my air got me feeling something new. Shit fresh, get a whiff of the perfume, let it vent. There's a limit to the pain, man, I just ain't found it yet. Getting lost inside the game, that's how I know I'm over stressed or something. Right when you let it go, that's when the blessings coming. I know it's so much easier said than done when all that shit up on your plate got you extra running next to nothing in that fuel tank. If you don't bend, I bet that you'll break. So many
Wow.
temptations when you play to win. It's my path, I let the motherfucking games begin. I love it.
I've been running around in circles, chase my tail down, let off the leash, lost.
Here we go again. And all the things that I be coming up with. My mind is so free and my shorty so thick. It's amazing all the things that I be coming up with while I'm anchored to the sea, while I'm drowning in the depths. It's a struggle we've been knowing, dog. All that baggage weigh you down, I need to hold it all. Moderation and everything is what they told us all. Breathe a minute, I be living with no protocol. No rules allowed, just go through the boastful, soaking it out. I open the crown and reflections, I noted the frown and the sobering amount. A gold up in my mouth.
Damn.
I've been running around in circles, chase my tail down, let off the leash, lost.
Here we go again.
Well done. Oh, and all the machines are the other tracks. That's actually so sick. What the fuck? That's actually really hard. A great slow fade out. Wow. Load and reverb was like a really good way to
369 Provisions.
shout out 369. Well done. Well fucking done. Holy shit. There's a lot to like about this, man. This is actually crazy. Going back to 3's description here. I could give you another description of the message, but I'd like to see what you come up with. Yeah, no. The chasing the tail metaphor is definitely like spoken on pretty heavily in this track. So I have a good feeling of what 3 was kind of explaining here, but regardless, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're talking about 3 things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the official lyric video for Circles. Let's talk instrumental. So, instrumental mix really, really solid. You know, a lot of 3's instrumentals and the majority of their submissions have been fantastic, especially mix wise. I'm pretty sure a lot of it is self-produced as well. But yeah, instrumental mix really, really up there. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing, or anything that I would like ultimately switch up about this one at all. Again, per usual. You know, I'm not really shocked about that, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here. So yeah, instrumental mix definitely on point. Instrumental Shining Star. Man. You know, the melodies are up there, but I do like the structure as well. But I think ultimately, I think for this one we're gonna have to go drums. Definitely the drums. Sound selection on the drums, the drum patterns and how they knock. Yeah, definitely the drums for sure. You could definitely go structure too. Like I said, melodies are up there, but let's go drums for this one. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Um Actually really solid. Again, 3 usually has a pretty like consistent vocal mix across all of their tracks that we've heard, right? So quality wise, nothing again super clashy, too overbearing, or nothing I would like ultimately switch up about this one. Like I said, 3 has a pretty consistent vocal mix across all their tracks that we've reacted to here on the show, right? So vocal mix definitely solid, right where it needs to be. Um, Vocal shining star though. Hmm. Probably the writing and lyrics, because, like I was saying, the hook explains the theme pretty well here, and we've all been there in life where you're kind of feel like you're chasing your own tail, just like a dog would or any animal would, right? And, 3 kind of explains on how to, like, get up out of that mindset. And, a lot of people experience that, but it's different for everybody, right? So, this was just three's experience with that sort of metaphor, right? Um, so I think for this one, with that said, I think writing and lyrics for sure. I think writing and lyrics definitely take the cake on this one. I do like Flow and Cadence and delivery, but I think writing and lyrics are like really well thought out here. Yeah, for sure. So let's go writing and lyrics on this one. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk about the official lyric video for Circles. So this is one of the more unique music videos I've seen in a while. There's been a few that come to mind this year, but this one's very, very unique, especially with like all the tracks on the arcade machines. I thought that was very nifty. And then using like the whole Pac-Man sort of theme here, but with like but with like Three's head is like insane, and I feel like it's very interesting, right? Because you don't really see lyric videos like this often, and then the lyrics are kind of like on the left and right side of the screen, which I thought was very creative as well, because it doesn't take away from the Pac-Man sort of gameplay that you're watching here. So that's what I really like about this one. Simple but very effective because it has a lot going on, but it's not like taking away from the lyric video. Again, much like the last one that we reacted to from 3. So yeah. I think Shining Star for the lyric video has got to be the editing, or the concept. I think the concept of the arcade in general is a good idea. But I think the editing overall kind of put it over the top, especially like the fade out with like going backwards, and then like you get a real long look at like all the other tracks, on the arcade machines. So I thought that was very creative. So let's go editing, man, for sure. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the Homie 3. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel. They're only one sub away from 370. And of course, make sure you go follow 3 on Twitter as well. They're only 5 followers away from 370. So make sure you go show them some love over there on YouTube and Twitter. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends, let's see here. So we left off with the Homie 3. Up next is the Homie Marco Pernice, a multi-genre talented artist and producer, came through with a track titled In New Yacht. Interesting track title for sure. But it's been a minute since we heard from Marco, so let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Because I am down. Let's see here. 2023, so about a couple years old. Not super old, but not super new either. This is off their project Devolution. Let's see. This is track 3 off of Devolution. Wow, yeah, no, we definitely haven't heard this before. You got some lyrics in there too? Okay. I'm down. Let's get into it. Marco Pernice in New Yacht. Ooh. Holy shit. Gnarly. Really fucking gnarly. Holy shit. Yeah, that was a journey right there. That was definitely a journey. Well done, my friend. Well done. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about two things because obviously no vocals. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of In New Yacht. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix, especially with like how much is going on and how many different flavors there are. In this track, I feel like the mix is on point. And again, nothing super clashy, too overbearing, or anything that I would like ultimately switch up on this one at all. I feel like Marco did a good job mixing this one, 100%. So no real gripes with the instrumental mix at all, quality or levels wise. Instrumental Shining Star is definitely the structure, especially over the course of 3 minutes. You get a flavor of like two different genres. The progression is really solid. It's structure all day, for sure. Definitely structure. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. This is track 3 off of their 3-track EP, Devolution. Aesthetics are fantastic. It's one of those like electrical lamps that I haven't seen one of those in a while, to be honest with you. So that's a really cool cover choice. I love the font too. And then you got the Antonio and Marco in the bottom right and left. Solid for a little 3-track EP for sure, aesthetic wise, 100%. Because it does have that good party house vibe, right? Definitely. So, overall theme In New Yacht. Again, it does have that perfect like low key underground club house party sort of vibe, you know. So I feel like Marco really, really nailed that when it comes down to um getting that good like late like 90s like house like underground secret club sort of vibe. You know, I feel like Marco is really, really good with that, and this one definitely shows it. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge, huge shout out to homie Marco Pernice. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, by the way, and of course, make sure you go follow Marco on Twitter as well. They're approaching 1.5K on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's get it, baby. Alrighty, my friends. We left off with the homie Marco Pernice. Up next is the homie Most Dope. Came on a multi-genre talented artist. Has came through with a YouTube upload. Pussy Upset. Proud the homie Kaiser. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So it's been a while since we heard from the homie Most Dope Kimon, man. I hope everything has been well. But Kimon has had a very solid 2025. Very consistent. And really showed what they could do, you know, absolutely when it comes to music videos, consistency, projects, singles, solos, collabs. They've been doing a lot. So I'm definitely excited to hear this. So we got Pussy Upset, official audio, Rod Kaiser, 5 days ago. So super, super new. All right, let's get into it. Unreleased Most Dope Kimon, Pussy Upset. Let's go. Damn. Damn. Straight bodied it, bro. Straight fucking bodied it. Holy shit. Minute 38, and Kimon used literally every second of that minute 38. Well fucking done. Holy shit. This is a nice little stashed away unreleased for sure. Well fucking done. Holy man. All right. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Pussy Upset. So, instrumental, love the choice, 100%. It's a very Kimon type instrumental, like I always say. Kimon's very, very good at picking the instrumentals. You know, it's a very specific alternative sort of plug vibe, but it still hits hard. You know, so I love the choice again, per usual. Mix is great. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing or anything like that. I love the sound selection. Kimon's vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Drums cut through nicely. Like I said, I love the sound selection. So yeah, definitely no gripes on the instrumental mix at all, especially quality and like levels wise, right? Instrumental Shining Star, definitely the drums. The 808 is fucking perfect on this song. I do think the melody's up there, but the drums are insane. Definitely the drums, no question. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, again, fantastic. Kimon has a very consistent vocal mix across all of their styles and genres, whether they go more melodic, whether they go more aggressive, or they just go straight forward. Their vocal mix is very, very consistent, 100%. So no shocker there, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here, right? So vocal mix very much on point, especially quality and levels wise. Vocal Shining Star. I do like the writing, but I think the flow and cadence and delivery really did it for me. It just sounded so effortless and like it's a very Kimon style of instrumental. So like them sliding on it is just like just makes sense, you know. I think the flow and cadence and delivery really help the lyrics as well too, you know. So yeah, let's go flow and cadence and delivery on this one for sure. It just felt like Kimon was floating on this, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Obviously unreleased, so temporary red cover here, which I think even this is actually kind of sick, right? Kind of like a mystery track almost, you know. So unreleased, so not really gonna dive into aesthetics like that hard. But overall theme, Pussy Upset. You know, like some people are just like, for lack of a better term, some people are pussies. You know what I mean? So Kimon's kind of speaking on that in a few different ways, right? when it comes down to people being mad at you or being mad at you over stupid shit, or even a girl who you got a problem with or they got a problem with, or your partner or anything like that. So Kimon definitely touched on that pretty well. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Most Dope Kimon. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel, by the way. They're only 2 subs away from 100. That's a W milestone. And of course, make sure you go follow Kimon on Twitter as well. They're only 8 followers, or no, they're only 7 followers away from 30. So make sure you go show them some love on the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So, let's see here. Up next would be the homie Ghost, but Ghost is Music Mondays Patreon, and we've already reacted to a Ghost earlier in the show, so definitely go check out their submission at the beginning of episode 249. And make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter as well. Let's see here. So after Ghost, last but certainly not least, the homie Lucha Libro. Now, Lucha Libro, a multi-genre talented artist, has came through with a track titled Shivers. It's been a couple weeks since we heard from Lucha Libro, so I'm definitely excited to see what they got. Their last submission was pretty fucking crazy, so it was an acoustic cover as well. So they did a really, really good fucking job, for sure. But this is their track Shivers, which actually seems to be brand new. Yeah, quite literally dropped today. Holy shit. Wow. It literally dropped today. Holy shit. Brand new out of Lucha Libro. Love the cover, too. More like simpler approach on the cover, for sure. I fuck with that. Alright, let's get into it. Lucha Libro, Shivers, let's go.
How many shivers have I got to shake? How many bad decisions am I yet to make? Don't give me no numbers, 'cause numbers ain't my thing. I know I gotta cut some things out, like shouting at my phone and thinking out loud. I'm headbutting the steering wheel as I drive, as the dice would lie. Sometimes it twists the knife, like I'm pissing in the wind, getting splashed in my eyes. There's too many cold shoulders.
Love
Now
this.
I'm getting older, and too many spineless backs. Those molehills are now boulders, and those hairlines are now fully fledged cracks. There's too many cold shoulders, now you're getting older, and too many spineless backs. Those molehills are now boulders, and those hairlines are fully fledged cracks. Spineless backs.
Love this. Well done.
There's too many cold shoulders now that you're getting older, and too many spineless backs. Those molehills become boulders, and those hairlines are now fully fledged cracks.
Well done. Wow. So, to my knowledge, I don't think we've heard many English tracks from Lucha Libre. They've always been in a different language, which is always fine with us, because we've always reacted to them the same. But wow, this was really, really impressive. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Shivers. So, instrumental makes a very simple but very effective instrumental, very theatrical, very emotional, very raw, right? So I love the production. Uh, but the mix is great. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing, or nothing I would like ultimately switch up on this one at all. You know what I mean? Lucha Libre usually has a pretty consistent instrumental mix, especially when it comes down to their more acoustic based tracks. So definitely sold on this um, instrumental mix here for sure. So instrumental mix very solid. Instrumental Shining Star definitely a structure, just because a lot of the other sounds come in later in the song, right? But the melodies here are also solid too. But I think I'm gonna go structure on this. I'm gonna go structure for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix very raw, but not too raw as to where it's like overbearing, right? I feel like Lucha Libre hit like that nice middle ground of like leaving in the raw emotion, but the quality doesn't sound raw. You know what I mean? So, um, vocal mix definitely right where it needs to be, levels wise, quality wise, especially for a more emotional kind of track, right? So vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star, definitely the writing. Love the fucking writing on here. I feel like Lucha Libre is just really voicing a lot of their frustrations, with a lot of the world, and as we all do, So I feel like they did a really good job, kind of getting some stuff off their chest here for sure. So definitely writing and lyrics. Instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Stock theme, aesthetics. Love this cover. More of a simple bare bones version, but it keeps the Lucha Libre style with the yellow border. And then the Shivers text bottom mid, Lucha Libre in the background, Lucha Libre logo in the middle as well. So again, it keeps up the theme of the yellow backgrounds as well, which I think is really solid. So aesthetics definitely on point, especially for a single for sure. Overall theme, Shivers. Yeah, again, shaking off the shivers, man, and Lucha Libre really describes their frustrations pretty well on this. I felt like they did a good job getting a lot of shit off their chest and really voicing how they feel about certain topics and being frustrated with life sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to take care of yourself constantly. So I think Lucha Libre did a good job kind of voicing their emotions here for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Lucha Libre. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Twitter as well. They're only 5 followers away from 150. Just make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 330 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all the good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Alrighty, my friends. Well done. That concludes all of our submissions for episode 249. Well done, my friends. Let's give some shout outs. Let's close it out. Let's say goodbye. Let's talk about what's coming over the course of the next couple weeks or so. And this is our last October episode, so we won't be meeting again until November, right? I believe November 3rd. Wow. Okay. Alrighty, my friends, let's close it out. Huge shout out to anybody that came through and showed love in the chat tonight, even if you just lurked and chilled. We appreciate you. Huge shout out to the homie TDG. Huge shout out to the homie Ghost and anybody else that lurked and chilled, even if you just stopped by, man. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight and all of our Music Mondays Patreons. Huge shout out to the homie Kruger, King Mark, Ryuki, TDG, Dry My Eyes, Jordan, and everybody else who's subbed to the Music Mondays Patreon in the past. Man, you guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. Per usual, a huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. Huge shout out to, let's see here. Huge shout out to TDG, the homie Braden, Offspring Mysterious, the homie 3, Marco Pernice, Mosto, Kimon, Ghost, and the homie Lucha Libre. Thank you guys so much for all your submissions. Thank you. Much love. Of course, you can find this episode on the Music Mondays Patreon tonight, and you can find it on all audio platforms this Thursday, and then YouTube this Saturday. So make sure you go show the VOD some love, and go show these artists some love if you missed the show. Per usual, outside of that, we're going to be dealing with a few more album things as the weeks go on, so you'll be getting some updates from us here at Music Mondays over on social media, and of course here on the Music Mondays podcast. So we'll be updating you guys 24/7 per usual. Outside of that, make sure you stream all the Music Mondays podcast episodes, anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. And of course, make sure you follow us on social media at All Music Mondays, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Tumblr, we're everywhere. So make sure you go follow us on social media, my friends. Of course, per usual, if you'd like to submit for episode 250, which is a crazy milestone, submissions will be live tomorrow, October 28th, 2025. Of course, if you're watching this VOD back, submissions will be live tomorrow. If you're watching this VOD anywhere else, submissions are already live. So make sure you go drop your tracks and links below the submission tweet per usual. Outside of that, that does it for the kid, man. We are live 5-6 days a week. We're doing speedruns, watch parties, all that good jazz. So make sure you come stop by the stream and show the kids some love per usual. Make sure you follow Music Mondays below. Make sure you follow me below. Follow, subscribe below. Everything linked below. All my socials, all the good jazz is linked down below. We'll be live tomorrow for a regular stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be live next Monday for episode 250 of the Music Mondays podcast. It's your boy Sam Slays. It's Music Mondays. I love you all. Take care. Be safe. And we'll see you next time. And we'll see you tomorrow. Let's get, baby.